Hello. Well, it is Friday, and it's Kevin, and it's live from lockdown. What an adrenaline rush off the top. I hope you're here. I can see some of you here. You know what I do when I'm messing about at the top is I'm usually reposting the link on my page so everybody can find it, and it's like I was live, but I wasn't, and some people seemed to be checked in, and then I got a text from good old Ola saying the show hadn't started. So anyway, Ola seems to be there. If Ola's there, things are working. Thanks for your patience. Let's try to start this properly. Live from lockdown number 55. Thank you for being with me again. Coming to you from my somewhat nomadic lockdown studio in the heart of Leith, in the heart of Edinburgh, in the beautiful country of Scotland. I want to begin by honoring this fabulous place and the many, many people over many millennia who have gone before me to give this place its rich, rich history and wonderful life. Scots and Picts and Celts and invading Romans and invading English and all of you. Some of you are here, some of you are elsewhere. I'm so happy to have you joining me virtually on this headache of a platform. After 55 times, it still gets complicated. I also, as I usually do, want to thank the people who have not gone before me but are here now in Edinburgh and making me feel so welcome. I've been a lucky man and been treated very well by lots of great friends in the city, and I love being here, and I'm so lucky. So thank you to all of you. Let me get rid of that loop. That off the top was a tune called It's a Good Day, written by Peggy Lee and her husband Dave Barber. Peggy's recording hit the Billboard charts in 1947. And I didn't really know that tune, but I got a message a couple of weeks ago from my good friend Sam Broverman, of whom I often speak, great singer, statistician, live music supporter in Toronto. Sam sent me a message. I think he actually emailed me during the show a couple of weeks ago to say, I just thought of this and I don't want to forget. And of course, as he always does, he actually sent me a chart for the tune. And I listened to Peggy Lee's recording and spent a bit of time with it. I was going to try it solo, but it goes by pretty quickly. And it's funny, sometimes the tunes without many chords are kind of harder to play by yourself. But anyway, I decided to pre-record a loop and open up with that. Hope that worked for you. Big thanks to Sam. Okay, we seem to be rolling. People are here. Oh, look at that. Thank you very, very much. I don't know what happened again off the top. It's like every week there's a new adventure or something to go wrong. I'll say early that if you have a look, if you're on Facebook and you look at the links on the side of the page, you will see a link to my PayPal account, and if you're able to make a donation that way, or if you're in Canada and want to send me an email, an e-transfer to my email address that's along the bottom here, those kind of donations are always really, really welcome and really appreciated, and very, very necessary for those of us trying to survive as musicians in this ongoing pandemic age. And again, no pressure. Really, I want you to be here to enjoy the music. And if you can't afford to make a donation, or if you can, but you want to send that money somewhere else this week, all that's just fine. Many of you are really great regular supporters, and I really appreciate it. And I love having the company every Friday. Check my tuning. As I say to the singers I work with, we tune because we care. So another of my regular requesters is a good friend, Pat Kelly from Ottawa. Fantastic guitar player and sometimes student of mine and a good friend. Sends me updates about what's going on in Ontario. Pat sent me a message a few weeks ago with a couple of requests. One of them was Smile, the Charlie Chaplin tune, which I played as a bossa nova maybe 2 weeks ago. The other one, he asked for a beautiful standard, which I don't really know very well, a tune called Time After Time, written by Jules Stein with lyrics by the great Sammy Kahn. I have to confess that when I first encountered Time After Time, it wasn't the Jules Stein composition. It was, of course, the Cyndi Lauper recording, the Cyndi Lauper tune from her 1983 recording, which I played in a number of pop bands in my youth. And later on, as I got more into accompanying jazz singers, I learned the other Time After Time because it's often a popular one with the singers. But, you know, they're both in the key of C, and why not have a little fun? So I'm going to try to medley those up. It's a crazy idea. They really don't have anything to do with each other other than they're both called Time After Time. But you got to have some fun now and then, right? So here's a silly little medley that I hope you enjoy. Time After Time by both Cyndi Lauper and Jules Stein. Something like that. Maybe that was a crazy idea. Who knows? Anyway, time after time and time after time. Thanks for that. Oh, look at that. A bunch of people have found me. I'm so glad. I had a rough time this week. You know, some of you know Facebook, probably lots of you know Facebook better than me, and I've posted about this, but just in case anybody has an insight, you know, I create an event every week, and sometimes I get 500 invitations, and sometimes I only get 50, and it seems completely random. I cannot figure out why I sometimes can only invite 50 people, and sometimes I can invite 500. This week they only gave me 50, and I tried to outsmart them by canceling the event and recreating it, and I think I caused more confusion than anything else, and I still only got 50 invitations, so glad to see a bunch of you there anyway. So it's the first Friday of May, and thus it's Bandcamp Friday. As happens on the first Friday of every month and has all through the pandemic. Huge thanks to the fabulous Bandcamp, which is a really great platform for selling recordings. So many of you have bought my recordings, and I really appreciate it. But if you haven't, or if you've got someone who's got a birthday coming up, here's a couple of examples of my records that you can get on my Bandcamp page. Once again, those links on the side of the page can get you there. You can just go to Bandcamp and search for Kevin Barrett or Kevin Barrett Group or the Special Interest Group. Or you can go to Bandcamp and just see what you find. There's a lot of great music there. And today, Bandcamp Friday, they waive the fees that they take from artists. So they're already a generous place to support live music, but even better today, if you're so inclined. Switching guitars, switching amps. Another tune. I want to say hello to a good friend of mine in Toronto who I don't even know if he's a Facebook guy. Fantastic Toronto-based pianist and singer and composer by the name of John Roby. John and I are both friends of my good friend Keith McNair, who I think is listening. And Keith wrote a tune that John and I are both doing some recording for remotely. But I want to talk about John because he does a lot of solo gigs. When we're allowed to do this, he's for many years has played in some pretty high-end restaurants and bars around Toronto, playing piano and singing some tunes. And he once told me that one of his principles is that if someone asks us for a tune he doesn't know, he just apologizes and says he doesn't know it. But if he gets 2 requests for a tune that he doesn't know, then he goes away and learns the tune and brings it back the next week and plays it, which is a kind of good principle. So I'm going to do a tune that I kind of knew. I have played it with a few singers, but never really learned the melody very well. But Keith McNair, of whom I just spoke, requested this tune a couple of weeks ago. And a couple of months ago, my sister Bronwyn requested this tune. It's a beautiful old standard by Cole Porter. It's a poignant and bittersweet ballad. And yeah, I don't know, sometimes makes me a little sad. It's got kind of lots of layers of meaning, and I've been avoiding it a little bit, but with 2 requests, I figured it was time to dig it up. I came across a pretty cool set of chord changes that I'm quite happy with, so I'm going to do this tune now. My favorite Scottish singer is one of the great singers who does a beautiful version of this tune, Susanna MacDonald, and I'm going to do it in her key. It's written in E flat, but I'm going to do it in the key of A major, which is where Susanna sings it, and for Keith and Bronwyn in particular, Every Time We Say Goodbye. every time we say goodbye or a version thereof. I like those chords. That didn't go as well as I wanted. I'm still a little flustered by this Facebook thing. Anyway, it's a beautiful tune. Thanks for listening to that. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Ha! I just saw Jerry's comment. Time after time after time. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll use that one next time. I'll practice it. What am I going to play next? I often speak about my good friend Fred Thompson here in Edinburgh. He's been a musical compatriot and really a great friend to me since the very first time I was in this city. I met him at my favorite pub, Sandy Bell's, and he invited me to sit in on a session, and we've been friends ever since. And I've mentioned that I've seen Fred a couple of times. I went to visit him this week, and I brought my mandolin along, and we played a couple of tunes. I don't think he's had his fiddle out of the case since the beginning of the pandemic. He's a quintessential pub fiddler, Fred. He's a brilliant pub fiddler, and he plays sessions at Sandy Bell's a couple of times a week when life is normal, and hasn't been able to do that, of course, in over a year. And I can't wait for him to get back there. I can't wait to do a session with him. But it was so nice to sit with him and play a couple of tunes. Get him to tune up his violin again. And I'm going to play one of the tunes that we played together. It's a tune that I played once before. I think it was last July when I was even more of a neophyte on the mandolin. It's a hornpipe. I often tell you that Fred and our mutual friend Catherine encouraged me to check the hornpipes out as an introduction to more traditional Scottish music. Fred claimed he didn't know the tune, but I played him through the bit of the A section, and I started to recognize it. By the time we got into the B section, he was playing the phrases in front of me because it was coming back to him, and he knew it. By the time we got to the C section, he was actually giving me alternative ways to phrase some of it. So he knew the tune, of course. As I said, he's a quintessential pub fiddler. I'm going to take a run at this on the mandolin. Louise, if you're there, it's in the key of D, or anybody else wants to play along, it's in the key of D major. Stays in D major throughout. There's 3 sections. I'm going to do a kind of rubato version once, as I often do, to remember it, because I always have to readjust to the tuning of this thing. This is called the Belfast Hornpipe, apparently also called the Sweeps. Some of you might know better than me. Here we go. There you go, the Belfast hornpipe. That's what Fred gave me, this part. That was his idea. Thanks to Fred Thompson. Thanks to Catherine Nickel for all your encouragement. I hope you're there. And to all of you for, again, your patience with me struggling my way around this funny little instrument. What a lot of fun I'm having. I borrowed this when I got here, and I promised the people, Martin and Inga, that I'd give it back to them in March when I left, but I haven't left in March, and I better let them know that I still have their lovely mandolin. It's a fun little tune. I'll keep working on those. I really will. Happy birthday wishes. I'm sure there are lots of birthdays, as I say every week. If I'm forgetting yours, don't take it personally. I just happen to make note of the ones I recognize. I don't have quite as long a list as I normally do, but I want to say a very special happy birthday to Lisa Evans and Chris Evans in St. Mary's, Ontario. I've known them for a long time, and Lisa in particular. I met Lisa at the Reservoir Lounge in Toronto many years ago when she used to come and hear Big Rude Jake's band that I used to play in. That was a really long time ago. And Lisa and Chris have been great supporters. Chris has been posting my live strings on his company's webpage, and a couple of weeks ago you saw their picture. They sent me a great shot of them having a drink in front of Live from Lockdown, and that was the photo for the event last week or the week before. That's who they are. So they've got birthdays this week. Lisa's, I believe, Lisa, your birthday is tomorrow. Is that right? May the 8th? Chris, 2 days later on May the 10th. And Lisa tells me that they've met for the first time on May the 12th. What a week for them. So they asked for a Beatles tune that I'd played before. They asked me if I might do Here Comes the Sun. So I'm going to take another run at Here Comes the Sun in the key of A, as a very special double happy birthday and happy anniversary wish to Lisa and Chris. Hope you're having a great one. Here Comes the Sun, the great George Harrison Beatles tune. Again, happy birthday, Lisa and Chris. Thanks for listening to that. Another request, not a birthday request as far as I know, but a good, well, as you'll hear, a story non-story. This comes from Steve Moses. So I often speak about Sam Sonite, who does a fantastic live stream on a Saturday. You can see the links under my favorite live stream list on the side of the page there. Sam's got a great collection of tunes and a beautiful, rich baritone voice, and he's always worth checking out for all the great tunes that he'll play for you. Sam's parents, Steve and Wilda, live, I believe, in Champion, Missouri, and are regularly tuning into my show, which I really appreciate. And Steve in particular has been great at sending requests. So he noted that I played a couple of Fats Waller tunes over the number of weeks past. I played Ain't Misbehavin' a month ago or so, and was it last week I played Honeysuckle Rose? So in the realm of Fats Waller tunes, Steve sent me this message. Another request, but the story is too long and complex for this forum, so none of us get the story. But Wilda's favorite Fats Waller tune is When Somebody Thinks You're Wonderful. I'm sure she'd love to hear you do it. So I'm going to take a run at When Somebody Thinks You're Wonderful by the great Fats Waller. A couple of wee adjustments here before I do that. Let's see. Okay. I should say that I listened to Fats Waller's recording of this tune, and Eric Clapton's also done a recording, amongst many others. So anyway, Steve and Wilda in particular, I hope you like this. Somebody thinks you're wonderful. What a difference in your day. Seems as though your troubles disappear like a feather in your way. When somebody thinks you're wonderful, tells you with a smile so sweet what a little stones you step on, just a meadow neath your feet, and how you meet the morning and gaily swing along. At night you may be weary, but your heart still sings a song. Somebody thinks you're wonderful, love is mighty close to you. Just another thing more wonderful, making all your dreams come true. And how you meet the morning and gaily swing along. At night you may be weary, but your heart still sings a song. When somebody thinks you're wonderful, love is mighty close to you. Just another thing more wonderful, making all your dreams come true. making all your dreams come true. Yeah. When Somebody Thinks You're Wonderful by the great Fats Waller. Huge thanks to Steve and Wilda for that request. I hope that met your fancy. I bet that Sam does that tune, if that's his mom's favorite tune. And I bet he sings it better than me. He's got a beautiful voice. So check him out. Maybe I'll watch him tomorrow night. Maybe he'll do that. That'll be fun. Okay, I've got time for my message of love and one more tune before we call it a night. I'm so glad all you fabulous people have tuned in and stuck with me, because a rough time, a couple of bumpy starts to this one this week. So I always say, wear your mask. Don't drop your mask. Wear your mask. Stay close to home. Things are really opening up here in Scotland, and I've been saying to a few of my friends in Ontario where things are really a mess, right across Canada, in fact, where things are a mess. Either here in Scotland we are seeing the results of a vaccine rollout that was about 2 months ahead of what was happening in Canada, or we are in the precursor to the worst third wave yet, and let's hope it's the former and not the latter. But please, folks, keep the circles close. Don't give up yet. We're going to beat this. UK is farther ahead in Canada at the moment, but we're going to beat this everywhere. Let's send our vaccines and our love and our support to India and try to get through this one. I also want to say that in North America this weekend, Sunday, is Mother's Day. And I got a similar Mother's Day message to the one I had for you last year, if you've been listening that long. The second Sunday of May is celebrated as Mother's Day there. Mother's Day happens a bit earlier here in the UK for different reasons. Again, they're kind of funny. That one's about going to your mother's church. And Mother's Day in North America tends to be about honoring your mom, and I want to fully support that. And I want to say, first and foremost, love and honor and respect your mother. She brought you into the world, and there is no greater gift than that. I want to say a very, very special thank you to my mom. I did a tune for her last week. Don't tell anybody, but she's got a birthday coming up too. But my great mom, I want to wish you a very happy Mother's Day. I want to wish happy Mother's Day to the other great mothers I know. Both my sisters, Bronwyn and Wren, are fabulous mothers. My son, Caleb, has a great mother, Lynn. My favorite Scottish singer is a great mom. Lots of great moms around, and all of us have a mom, and all of us should honor our mothers. But Mother's Day, before it got hijacked by Hallmark and the people who sell Sunday brunch, was not really about loving your mom, much as that is a laudable pursuit. Mother's Day was originally a radical call to end war. And I did this last year. I'm going to read a little excerpt from the original Mother's Day proclamation written by Julia Ward Howe in Boston in 1870. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here's the bit that I love in particular. It's a call to women all over the world. And she says, "We will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands shall not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We women of one country will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm, disarm. The sword of murder is not the balance of justice. The sword of murder is not the balance of justice." I love that. I think we could all remember that. So while you're loving and honoring your mom, and probably not taking her out to brunch, but doing what you can to tell her that you love her, remember that Mother's Day is also about allowing mothers to live without being in fear that the men in their lives or them themselves are going off to war. There you go. Thought for the day. I did a birthday song for Lisa and Chris, but I have mentioned this Several months ago, my good friend Lisa Evans, who is a very great supporter and stays in touch with me all the time, and I really appreciate that, Lisa. Lisa asked me if I do a tune off the great 1977 Fleetwood Mac album, Rumours. I've done one piece from that album, and she asked for another one, and I've told you a couple of times, I've been working on this tune since then, for months. It's a tune written by Lindsey Buckingham, the great guitar player from that band, and he's really a great musician. And he uses a technique called Travis picking, which has been one of the banes of my guitar playing existence, because it's not something that I learned, and it's not something I do very well. But I'm going to try it. And it seemed to me that while I try this tune a couple times every week and try to keep it rolling, I couldn't postpone it forever. And Lisa's birthday seemed a good reason to pull it out of the closet. So it's not going to be perfect. But Lisa, as an extra bonus to you on your birthday, or on the night before your birthday, I hope you're celebrating well. This is Fleetwood Mac's Never Going Back Again. This is going to be my 70s era loop out, as it usually is. And as usual, it's going to take me a bit of time to set it up. So refill your drink if you need to. Cheers to all of you. Happy May. Thanks as always for joining me. Never Going Back Again.
Bye.